Good morning, church. Happy Sunday. It's good to be with you today, and we're going to begin John chapter 7, and it opens up with an encounter between John and his brothers, and they accuse him, and they're almost kind of like Joseph and his brothers, where they accuse Joseph of things, and they're telling Jesus, hey, if you want all this fame, why don't you go up and do something fancy at the festival that's going on? And Jesus gives this reply. He told them, my time has not yet arrived, but your time is always at hand. The world cannot hate you, but it does hate me because I testify about it that its works are evil. Go up to the festival yourselves. I am not going up to this festival because my time has not yet fully come. And so we have this distinction between the world and the things of Jesus set up in opposition to each other. The world cannot hate you, he told his brothers, because he doesn't really give the because, but throughout Scripture, we keep seeing the because here is that if you do the things of the world and comply with the way of the world won't hate you. And we see this reality demonstrated regularly throughout today, that if you bite into the prevailing philosophies, generally people will be more inclined to get along with you. The problem with the world's philosophies is that they keep moving. They're constantly shifting goalposts about what should I be affirming? Who should I be hating? What's the right moral conviction of today based on the nebulous standards of the people around me? It must be exhausting. It's a rat race to try to catch up with. Kind of like the world of fashion. It's always changing. You're never quite there at the peak of it. And so we want to pursue Jesus. But Jesus says that if we testify against the world, it will hate us. We hear later at the end, that if Jesus says, if the world has treated me this way, just think of how it will treat you. And so we shouldn't be surprised. But if we're going to take up the mantle of Christ and to be like him and to be his ambassadors, there is going to be a measure of preaching against, in truth and in love, but against the things of this world, to stand against them, to push back, and to not just be overcome or to go with the flow or to be winsome, to go along to get along. And this is the great challenge in the Christian life. We don't want to be intentionally offensive, and the prevailing culture says that niceness, kindness is the order of the day. But that's not what we're called to do. None of those things. We're called to be like Christ and to do what he calls us to do, which requires a massive measure of boldness and courage to walk like he does, to preach the truth like he does. And even in your life, preaching the truth might be you're refusing to go along with an unethical proposition, to refuse to go along with a lie that someone is living in their own life, but just to speak the truth gently and in love. And so, church, I'm encouraging you today to pray, what does this look like? And like when the disciples pray in Acts chapter 4 and they pray for boldness, do that. Pray, God, make me bold like you. And let me never shy back or to be ashamed of the gospel. I love you, church, and we'll talk to you soon again.